Hello and welcome to Jedi and the Mailman, a show where two old friends aim to deliver the best Star Wars talk in the galaxy. I'm Mike the Mailman. That's Jimmy the Jedi. Pointed the wrong way. And Jimmy is back. Took a week
Yeah,
off
boy.
last week. Had some personal business to attend to. Did Molly have a nice birthday?
She did. So,
Excellent.
got all that squared away. Sorry, I'm trying to get our screens all set up here so I can
All right.
get us doing the right things. All right. I think I'm good.
Jack and I had a good time last week.
Yeah, I watched it. It was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Definitely something we can do some other time. And Tahu's here already.
Yeah.
That's nice that somebody showed up. I wasn't sure anybody was going to show up tonight. Jimmy and I really didn't have any idea what we were going to talk about till very late in the day, so we weren't able to promote the show in any way. So we got anybody tonight. It was going to be amazing, but Tahu never misses a show.
I appreciate them. Appreciate that love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
buddy.
So, kind of winding down. Well, not winding down. It feels like everything's winding up. Like I'm
Ramping
like
up.
on edge. We just got
Yeah,
done with. I don't know why I add things to my schedule whenever
yeah,
I know what's coming, but it is what it is. So we'll get through
yeah,
it. I'll
yeah.
be in Japan in a week. In a week, I'll be
Mhm.
flying to Japan. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
nice.
But how's your week been, Mike?
Not too bad. Today was awfully miserable. Uh, the weather's been pretty spring-like, but today it took a turn for the worse. It's down to like 30 degrees today
Oof.
and just windy as can be. Like my hands are cracked and bleeding. My face, if the camera was a little clearer, it'd just be beet red because windburn. It's funny in January, you have a day where it's 30 degrees and it's like take the coats off, short sleeves. It's like beautiful out. You're used to it. But once you get
Yeah.
into spring and you get that taste of the warmer weather, when it dips back down on one of these days, all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, it's so cold.
It's one of the things I like about Star Wars Coruscant. They can just control the weather. Why
Yeah,
can't we do that?
I don't know. Well,
It's 73
we
and
stopped funding
glorious.
science, so I don't think we're going to get to that point anytime soon.
True. That's true. It's oh boy. Yeah. Lots of
So, what did we come here to talk about tonight, Jimmy?
well, we've got a new teaser trailer that dropped.
Yes,
It's about
sir.
30 seconds long, so we'll watch that. We'll kind of dive into it. I'm not sure how much new stuff's in there. They're all starting to kind of blur together for me personally, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I know why they're doing it. They just kind of rearrange things and
Hmm.
they make it. I mean, it keeps them in the algorithm and stuff like that, and that makes total sense. But then trying to like decipher what's new, what's not,
Yeah.
makes it difficult. But I mean, it works because I watched it 2 or 3 times a day when
Yeah.
it dropped. I'm like, oh, what's new?
Right.
But you know,
Yeah,
for the
Jack sent out that message that there's a new one out. So I got on YouTube, clicked on the first link, and I'm like, I don't know if I've seen this one before or not. And then I go back, and this one was released like 4 days ago. So I'm like, okay, that must not be the right one. And you scroll down, released 1 hour ago, and I look at it, and I'm like, well, that wasn't much different than the last one I watched. But yeah, you're right. They just reorder things, change a
they
little
give
bit.
them different names and stuff. Like this one's like Do or Die
Yeah.
thing. It uses some of the same stuff, but yeah.
Mhm.
So we'll watch that. Talk about that a little bit, and then we have a Screen Rant article that came out late January, early February about their 10 biggest theories we have for Andor season 2. So we'll see. Like obviously there's been more information since they started,
January.
but we'll kind of see where we're at.
Yeah.
Um, and some of the stuff is, I mean, it's relevant regardless because I mean, like the first one starts out, we have a really bad feeling about Ferric. So yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
fair. Things are probably going to get torn up, but that's on screenrant.com. So if you want to follow along, you can. Yeah, and everything else is just, we had the episode this week, episode 99.
99.
So
Knocking on the door
92
of the
more
big
than
one.
some people thought we would get. So that's pretty exciting. Um,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say any names, but we'll hit number 100 this weekend, and then we'll start our next century with, if it all works out, with us being
Live on stage in
live
Japan.
on stage in Japan. We'll record it and send it out. Danny will be there with us, and he'll record, and
Can't wait.
we'll figure out some way to at least get the footage. And if it doesn't work out for YouTube, for sure, we'll get it out for the podcast. And I think we can
Yeah.
record from my computer. So we don't have any idea. We're gonna be winging it, like we do
Well,
most things. So
we wing it here almost every week, and it works out pretty well.
yeah.
We have a few fans like Tahu.
Yeah, Tahoe's always here. You know, a little nerve wracking because I mean the guys from Fantha Tracks, who's like they're like the godfathers of
Yeah.
Star Wars podcasting. Been
Mhm.
doing it for longer than anybody, but they're so generous and so loving, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll be there." I'm like,
Yeah.
"What? Who knows like everything about Star Wars?" And I'm like, "So, well, the pressure's up. I've been doing my research, trying to learn how to say names properly, so I don't sound like a dummy." But
Yeah.
Japanese is difficult, man. Like it's a
Yes.
hard
Yes.
language. I don't
Yeah.
have I don't have an international tongue. Like I don't pick up on languages that well. Never
Yeah.
have. So I listen
Well,
to them say a bunch of things.
yeah. Yeah. It's funny. I've traveled the world, as you know, and been to lots of different places. And it's funny, like traveling in Europe, like all those languages have a basis in the same, the same tongue. You know what I mean? Like they all come
Yeah,
from the same general tongue. So you can kind of put things together and you have a whole lifetime of hearing little Italian words and Spanish words and this and that just from
thank
your
you,
upbringing.
Sesame
So you
Street.
can kind of make do. But then you go to an Asian country or an Arab country and there is no touchstones whatsoever.
No,
Our Western upbringing, you have no touchstones whatsoever to go off of. So it's tough.
sorry, big
But I
time
mean,
supporter, Tahoe.
yes, big time supporter. But yeah, I mean, Tokyo is a pretty, I would imagine, pretty easy place to get around with
Well,
just English. It's a
yeah,
big tourist city,
I'm
and
not. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried
yeah,
about navigation. I'm just worried about sounding like a dum dum when I'm in front of
right.
people who know things.
Well,
So
you're a hick from Central Pennsylvania. It's
yeah, America. So we're trying to avoid that stereotype, given how people see our country right now.
yeah,
Um, you know, whichever way you want it, you can love what's going on or hate it. The rest of the world doesn't seem to be caring for it too much. So we're going to go and do our best. And yeah, so, we're doing that. And it makes me wonder too. I know we're a Star Wars podcast, but do you think like, is Sesame Street universal, right? Does like every country have something like that? And then are they
something like
learning
that.
like, like we have a lot of Spanish when we're growing up. Like we could count to
Hmm.
10 in Spanish because of Sesame Street.
Yeah,
Um, Can they count to 10 in different languages because of Sesame Street? You know what I mean? I don't know why that popped into my head, but
I would
regardless.
assume.
So I
Tahu, do
will
you
be.
guys
I
have
will be.
Sesame Street over there?
I'll be doing. Yeah, Tahoe. Do you guys got Sesame Street in New Zealand and or Australia? Like, they have anything like it? Do you know what Sesame Street is? It's Big Bird. If you don't, so
Oscar the Grouch,
Oscar the Grouch. Yeah, my
Bert and
hero,
Ernie.
my personal hero. So, but what do we want to
One
do
come.
first? We want to do this little teaser trailer
Let's do
first.
this trailer. Yeah, yeah.
All
Let's
right,
get
I'm
that out
gonna
of the way.
bring this up. Right to the commercials. Can you hear that playing? Like through
No,
my microphone? Okay, good.
yeah, you're
Skip
garbled
this.
though. Now whatever you did,
All right, so
now you're clear.
all right, here we go. I'm gonna try to share screen. We're gonna go to this. Hit share. We will enlarge it. No, we'll be good. All right. So it's 30 seconds, so we shouldn't get busted by the mouse house.
Oh,
I may
that's good.
stop it like halfway through
Yeah.
and then start it back up. But all right, here we go. So this is the latest teaser trailer. This looks pretty sick, but we've seen this. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
The Empire cannot win.
The revolution's coming alive.
This day has finally come. This is do or die.
So some of that stuff's new, like the guns, and I think Cassian's in TIE fighter gear.
Yeah.
something there. I don't know.
And that,
So
I don't remember seeing that dagger that he pulls out either.
yeah, so that'll be interesting.
What is that thing?
Yeah. All right.
Thinking like a soldier. Think like a leader.
Andor Season 2, streaming April 22nd, only on Disney+.
All right. So we'll stop sharing that so we don't get busted by the Mouse House and YouTube.
It played pretty choppy too, so I don't think they're gonna.
So yeah, so we got that going on. I'm gonna close that. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not any more hyped for it. I don't know if I can get any more hyped unless they would show something they should absolutely not show us already. So
And yeah, I honestly I don't want too much more. You know,
no,
you want to
it's
be
like,
surprised in some way.
like Acolyte. My two favorite things in Acolyte, the first fight scene with May and oh my gosh, it's crazy.
Trinity,
yeah, Jedi Trinity.
yes,
Indira,
yes,
Master
there we go.
Indira. Like they showed that whole fight,
Yeah,
and then they showed the whole fight between Master Soul and May, and it's like I love Force Fu. Like it's my, I think that was like so cool and so original. Like we never seen anything like that in Star Wars and fighting, martial arts. We grew up loving that stuff, and if they would have just given me a taste of it, so
yeah.
But here we go. Some Sesame Street news. Sesame Street is the bomb. It taught me Maury and the New Zealand version. All right, on the New Zealand version. Very cool.
See, it is universal.
Yeah, I mean, how could it not be though? It's like the purest thing out there.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know I've seen it, like from other countries, like different versions of it too, where it's not necessarily Sesame Street. They have different kind of Muppets and stuff like that, but same general purpose. So
more to the kids in that area, what's cool and what's not.
Yeah,
I'd be kind of curious. Maybe we should do a Sesame Street episode. We just talk about all the Sesame Streets out there. That is a junior project. My kids are starting the junior project this my sophomores U.S. history classes, and Sesame Street is one of the topics. And last year a kid did, outstanding one. Star Wars is also a topic. So my students are usually a little afraid to do that one, but I have helped out other kids being a primary source, as you will. So, but yeah. So I don't know. I mean, my point being, sorry, I get distracted.
It's okay.
They showed so much of the Acolyte. I don't know if they were worried it was going to bomb and they wanted to make sure it got out there. They did the same thing with Solo because they were worried about it. They just started showing clip after clip after. I mean, even in Rise of Skywalker, they did it too. Like, don't show us that much. Although we have like, maximum of like 12 hours possibly of I would be curious because apparently people got it and we're not quite there yet. Maybe next time. But people have all 12 episodes already or something like that, which
even if I was that privileged, I don't know that I'd want to, because think about it. To get that, you'd have to sign some sort of NDA, I would imagine. You can't talk to anybody except for those, few in the know. So I think I'd want to just continue on the path where see it as everyone else sees it, rather than have that under my hat and not be able to talk to anybody about it. There's something nice about being special and, getting that treatment. But at the same time, like one of the greatest things I've found with watching these shows now is to be able to get on here afterwards and talk about it and, share your feelings and whatnot. So if you can't say anything, it's kind of,
I mean, 4 of us, we could chat, but I mean, I don't even know how many copies you get. I don't know how any of that works yet. Eventually, hopefully we keep plugging away and doing what we do, we'll get there. But I mean, I know like Force Center podcasts, like Ken Knapsack and those guys, they get it. They just don't even answer. They sometimes, and then I know like, we listen to a lot of the same podcasts. The Weekly Planet guys. I mean, they can't be bothered. They're like, I don't care. So, which is hilarious to me that they're at a point where they're just like, I don't care. So that's probably that's the dream right there, to be to a point where
no kidding. Yes, that way we can all share it together. Exactly.
Yeah, no kidding. So selfishly, the only reason is just for the breakdowns. It would be nice to be able to see it, sit with it, stop it. If we got them early, like they send them to us on Sundays or something, that would be cool.
Yeah, because that is one thing that's going to be odd this time. Like I don't like we said, but we've talked about this before. When are we going to get to watch it? I'm sure you're going to watch it as soon as it releases. I'm going to try, but then once we've seen it, like we're not going to be able. We can't jump on at midnight on a Tuesday and do this. So it's like I got to wait until the next Tuesday, an hour before the next one releases to, come on here and do this. But I mean, we'll talk off air and whatnot.
Yeah.
We do talk other than this 1 hour a week. But
we talk a lot about, I do think we will have recaps. We'll probably break it down by episode, and it may drop like on Wednesday, we'll do the first episode. On Thursday, or we'll do the second, and on Friday, the third one will come out each week or something like that. And then we'll probably do a recap. And then, I'll get on and talk about what we expect and things like that. But we'll work it out. It'll probably be a combination of the 5 people that are involved. Taylor's coming, going to be helping us out a little bit too. And, we'll talk about that on our 100th episode, hopefully. But, we'll get into that. Well, we can dive into this and we'll get through these and we'll let everybody go on with their day. Because as soon as we're done here, I'm going to go back and start working on my presentation for Celebration, because knowing me, it's not good enough yet. So I'm like, I got to do more. I feel like Kylo Ren, more. So, all right, let's look up, share screen. Let's go 10 biggest theories. All right. So full credit where credit deserved. Screen Rants. I'm not trying to hide it. This is not us. This is Screen Rants. Mike found this for us by Thomas Bacon. I wonder if he likes bacon. What do you think?
Who doesn't like bacon?
Well, even you would think that's the case, but I teach about Sir Francis Bacon in my world history class, and kids are like, because the whole background's bacon, and I'm like, the kids are like, oh, that's gross. I'm like, get out.
What?
Just get out.
Yeah, even vegans like bacon.
Yeah, fake bacon.
Yeah.
All right. So, again, this came out in January, but some of it seems pretty relevant. It looks pretty fun. So we'll dive into this. We're not going to read any of that. If you really want to read it, go find the article. Number 10.
We just hit the headlines.
We have a really bad feeling about Ferrix. Before we go into it, let's talk about what do we think. What do we think is going to happen to Ferrix? Are we going to see Ferrix again? Or is it going to just have moved on? Because, well, you go first. What do you think? Are we going to see Ferrix again?
I think we're more likely to just get reference to it. Ferrix, it's a mining town, right?
Yeah.
So whatever they're mining there,
kind of like Cal Kestis pulling stuff apart.
Yeah. So whatever work they're doing there, I'm sure it's important to the Empire. So I would imagine it's not like they're going to just destroy Ferrix, but I could definitely see them, the yoke of oppression being heavy on the people, cracking down and making it more of like a slave labor type place. Yeah. So I have a feeling we're going to have reference to it, reference to what's going on in Ferrix. But I don't think they're going to go back to that planet.
I mean,
Cassian really can't, can he?
No, because at the end of that show, season 1, spoiler alert, they get all the friends that are still alive. They get them off.
Mm-hmm.
Cassian goes and talks to Luthen. They take off, and we're assuming they take off together.
Yeah.
And then, so it's really just the Empire. Cyril, Daedra. I don't think Cinta and why can't I think of her name? And it's no disrespect. I like these characters, but Charlie's going to be mad at me for forgetting their names. But so they're the only ones I know that are still there or not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to say I don't think we're going to get Ferrix, or they may show them just blowing it to heck as punishment, as the group does. But let's see what Screen Rant thinks. They say situated in the corporate zone. Well, I guess if it's in the corporate zone, they probably can't. Planet Ferrix is long, like a powder keg. All right, that's not pointing. We have a very bad feeling about Ferrix's future Andor set in dark times. The Empire's reign when the crushing weight of the Empire is brought to bear against even rumors of rebellion, when entire worlds are snuffed out because they're too much trouble. Given that case, we really wouldn't be surprised to see Ferrix become a site of terrible atrocity. Yeah, I could see. Wouldn't that be a strong opening if it was just like boom, 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 like just dropping bombs on Ferrix after they escape?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
They have a ranking on here, Tahu, of the top 10 characters like most likely to die. Like they have like percentages of who they think is and who aren't going to die. So a little bit morbid. If I have time, I'll look and see what they say. But yeah, I would be surprised if we go back there. Looks like season 2 will show one of the Empire's worst atrocities. What do we think about the Gorman massacre showing up? Because Jack's had some good points, and some other people have had some good points about who they think, what they think the Gorman massacre is.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, it comes from legends, right? But then has been adapted into canon. So there is a little bit of wiggle room as far as like how exactly it goes down. And that's,
Mhm.
I mean, that's all fine with me. I mean, I'm of the opinion that you take the legend stuff as legend. You know, it's stories out there that may have some truth to them and whatnot. So, you know, you don't have to exactly go beat by beat what was published in legend. So there
Yeah,
is
I don't
some,
even know what it was. So
yeah. So there's some definitely room to maneuver there. But
yeah,
yeah, I mean everything points to the fact that we're gonna see this, to some extent. Um, it's the event that probably triggers Mothma to leave the Senate and really found the Rebel Alliance and whatnot. So yeah, I
it's
mean, I
it
don't think
is
there's
the
any doubt.
event.
Yeah.
Like, and we have that in canon. We have that in Star Wars Rebels.
Hmm.
When she comes onto the show is right after because we talked about that a little bit on the show because we did a recap of season 1, then we did some prediction stuff. It was a lot of fun, cameos and that kind of stuff on this week's episode.
Yeah.
And it was uh Cinta and Vel. I don't know
Vel.
why I can't think of that. Got the Mandalorian in the house. What's
Hey.
happening?
Well, I can tell you
So
why you couldn't think of it, Jimmy. That's something to do with 49 years on this planet.
yeah, I'm getting old. I need like cheat sheets or something. But I think, well, first off, anybody else out there, Clark, you guys, when you heard the Gorman massacre, right, and it has been sprinkled throughout some things, did anyone else think it was creatures that they wiped out? Like it was like a
Like a
so
race of people, like the Gorman people.
yeah,
Like
like
it's
a
an
species,
alien.
like not human, but
Yeah, right.
when
An
I
alien race.
because seeing those trailers and seeing all that stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh, what are they doing to those poor people? And then someone's like, oh, that's gonna be like the Gorman massacre, and I'm like, what? I thought they were like, because like the Bothans, many Bothans
Hmm.
died to bring us
Yeah,
this information. So I just was like, oh man, like these poor species just got wiped out because they
yeah.
didn't want to do
What's the
what they
Gorman
did.
species? Yeah,
Yeah, but the Gorman people, it makes sense.
yeah, yeah.
Oh no, Tahoe, that's gonna be awesome.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
I hope
yeah,
like I hope K2 like whoops his butt at first,
yeah.
that somehow he gets
There's,
them.
I can see that happening for sure. Like
I
we do get into K2SO a little bit later in these like it's down the line. Todd. We'll get to
yeah.
it.
So
They have some
yeah.
theories on K2SO.
All right. Speaking of Moff Tarkin, can't help suspecting that Andor season 2 will show another Imperial atrocity he was personally connected to. Created in Star Wars legends but incorporated into canon, the Gorman Massacre was a key event in galactic history where Tarkin ordered the slaughter of peaceful protesters that led to Senator Mon Mothma to step up her opposition to the Empire, choosing to move away from political processes and commit herself to rebellion. Gormans are already name dropped in Andor season 1, with Mothma setting herself up as a champion of oppressed planets. And there's hints to it. So this kind of blows up. This blows up. If now, I don't know the canon connection to Tarkin. And these people have people who research all this stuff.
Yeah,
But if that's the case, then that means because a lot of people were thinking, and I think Jack and myself and some other people were like worried that it was going to be like Andor and Luthen that started the massacre
right, right.
to kind of
Well,
jumpstart things.
that's
I made
yeah.
reference to like Pearl Harbor and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
if it's related to Tarkin, then
Well, I think it's related to Tarkin in Legends. So it's kind of like what I was saying earlier. And don't quote me. I'm not a Legends. I don't know. Legends like the back of my hand. I haven't read all the stuff, but I think it was attributed to him in Legends. But here we are in canon, where the only real canon piece is what we saw in Rebels. So there is some wiggle room there that they can, put whatever spin on it they want and attach whoever they want to it. Like, do you think
Yeah.
we're gonna get a Moff Tarkin, Grand Moff Tarkin in this? He's not even Grand Moff at this period, would he be?
He could be Moff Tarkin. I mean, it's got to be close.
Or governor? Isn't he a governor of somewhere before he becomes the
Yeah.
Moff?
So I'm
But
looking, just
I
doing
mean,
my research on here.
they got Tarkin in the computer. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he's just a CGI thing now. So I mean, if they have the rights to his likeness and whatnot, they could roll him out, put him in anything. But yeah, I don't know specifically if he has to be connected to it, if it's in canon that he's connected to it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that right here. It does not give. It says it's funny because it says the revolution starts now. Warning: this page contains spoilers from the second season of Andor. Caution is advised.
Wow, they're spoiling things already.
Massacre, which killed hundreds, if not thousands, of protesters, according to Imperial archives, was part of the Galactic Empire escalating crackdown on rebel activity in the galaxy. In response to the massacre, she blames Palpatine, branding him a lying executioner, declared a traitor, and hunted by the Imperial Bureau, the ISB. See, that's when she flees and she goes and they put her on the ghost and they take her from the ghost to the. Just trying to see if there's any.
This is where we need that crack research team.
Yeah.
Or even a research team on crack.
There we go. That'd probably work better right now. See, Saw Gerrera is mentioned. One of the groups that operated in that time was the Gorman Front, who were known to early rebels like Rael and Saw Gerrera. So there is a group of rebels on Gorman.
So maybe like a faction, some sort of faction of his. Whatever it is. I mean, it's definitely going to be.
I'm surprised they have it up there though. Like, so all right. Well,
it's certainly going to be
Mon Mothma's
interesting.
married.
It's going to be the kickoff.
Yeah, one way or another, I think, and I think it's going to be early because I think it's going to set some things up. But
yeah,
number 8. Well, I'll go a little quicker on some of these. Mon Mothma's marriage and family life will collapse. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't.
It's
know
hard
how.
to it's hard to have a natural, normal life when you're leading a rebellion. I would imagine. You can't,
especially when your husband's a dote.
Yeah,
like he's a dumb head.
Yeah, you can't necessarily schedule a date night and
No.
make all your daughter's soccer games and things like that.
Research team on crack. I like it. There's Tiara. Hi, Tiara. Yeah, it is interesting, and I know Tiara's reading Mask of Fear. Tiara, did you finish it yet? But yeah, so her life and I think she's going to be a huge part of this, like a huge part of this series. But we'll just see what.
And I hope so. I mean, she is such a great actress. She plays the part so well. This is basically your last opportunity to really give her, take advantage of her talents and really use her to her fullest. So,
yeah, I mean, at the end, she throws him under the bus for gambling to hide the money, and then her daughter Lita. Yeah, parents of them aren't there, and I mean, we get it in Rebels. Like, it's just her. It's not her daughter and her husband.
Yeah,
Aaron, I don't think he'd be troubled because he's just going to be like,
yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
what's this?
To me, it's the daughter thing. Like, if she really sold her daughter off, in whatever way that, whether her daughter was somewhat willing or what, that could be a real, really real different way of looking at her character. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, she's the face of the rebellion and, she's their fearless leader and whatnot. But if she sold her daughter to fund the rebellion, like however that goes, I mean, Wow, that's something.
Yeah, I'll be curious if we get more of that, like before that wedding. I mean, obviously, I think that's the wedding stuff.
Yeah, it seems to be.
There's so much. I'm praying. Let's just say every episode's 45 minutes, just average
Mhm.
45 minutes. Right? We'll get long ones, we'll get short ones.
Seems
2 hours
fair.
and
Yeah.
15 minutes. That's
Mhm.
4 movies that they could be showing us clips from. So we have no
Yeah.
idea what order anything's happening in. I
Right.
mean, yeah, who knows? Maybe that's when she flees. Maybe she calls him out to have the wedding, then she takes off and leaves her daughter with her new husband and a family that could probably protect her because they're so wealthy
Yeah.
and good to
Yeah.
go. But
Yeah. Let's hope for the best. That's true.
I just, yeah, man, yeah. But even in the book, I don't want to ruin it for Tiara, but yeah, her family. I mean, it's kind of funny when you get to the end, Tiara. You'll get a little chuckle on something that happens so they can set the timeline right. It's real weird. Number 7, say it isn't so. Luthen simply got to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Hopefully
think
he
there's any
gives the
doubt.
greatest monologue that a movie, TV show, streaming service has ever delivered because he basically did that last time. And then
Yeah.
he pulls out some blasters and he goes, I think a lot of people need to go down in the blaze of glory, but yeah, what do you think? He's dead, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like you said, maybe he's clutching his heart, giving that last speech and kicking off, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I mean, everything. I mean, it's in his monologues. He's got to die to provide. So that somebody else gets to see the sunset. Whatever that. Obviously, I can't speak as well as Luthen, but
Not many people can. God, that's a
but
great speech.
yeah, and it you expect. All of our heroes in this are going to die. We know that. We've already seen that. So he's another one that he's going to eat it, and I expect that it's going to be in a spectacular way, and
Let's hope so.
it's going to ramp you up. It's going to give you. It's going to be like, yeah.
And then no, I burned my decency for someone else's future. How's that sound? That sound gravelly enough? I burned my life to make
pretty
a
good.
sunrise I know I'll never see. There you go, Mike. I
There
sound
you
more
go.
piratey than I sound
And it was
Luthery,
something.
Luthen Rail isn't around Star Wars original trilogy. That leads to one inevitable conclusion. He will ultimately give his life in the fight against the Empire. Yeah. Yeah, he will.
And he's prepared for it. We just have to prepare ourselves for it.
Yeah. Oh, we got the ghost there. That'd be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Luthen is responsible for finding Yavin 4. Well, I don't know anything about this. So let's see we got some other photos here. We got this. Got more of the ghost. Is that from? No, that looks like the cartoon. That looks like animation. All right, they almost got me there. They almost got me there. That looks.
Well, their animation sometimes is pretty good. Yeah. It's hard to tell from
BCX 100 right there, and the ghost. I'm sure. They say Andor season 2 will run right up to the start of Rogue One, a Star Wars story, which viewers took as meaning the show would head to the jungle moon of Yavin 4, Rebel Base. That was confirmed in footage. Most likely, all the which showed the familiar Masasi temples. But how will the rebels discover it? They think it's going to be Luthen. Luthen's covering course on the simple one. He's an antique dealer. He appears to have something on focus on Sith artifacts. Yavin 4 is an ancient Sith stronghold. Mm-hmm. Masasi temples, so perfect for concealing a fleet, were actually created by slaves of the Sith. It's easy to imagine Luthen being the one who takes the rebels to Yavin 4. Oh my gosh, that's going to be nuts.
Yeah.
Like if that happens.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, the way they
historically, like him being the history guy. And
yeah.
I wonder if we get any backstory on him. Like, where's his wife? Where's his family? Or where's his partner, I guess, it's Star Wars and everybody can do what they want, live their best life. So where's his partner? And, has he always been? I mean, why is he so upset? You know what I mean? What happened to him?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be a cool backstory. We'll probably never get it.
Yeah.
Maybe we get it in the second and third books of I think the Reign of the Empire trilogy that we're getting,
Mhm.
Mask of Fear being the first one, I do believe that Luthen becomes a character in those books. I don't see how they do
Yeah.
it without him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, this is another example of having a great actor, and this is your last chance to get everything you can out of him. I mean, when you got a Skarsgård, delve into everything that you can to give Luthen as much screen time as you can, because he's a fantastic actor, and you know every bit of screen time that he has is just so mesmerizing and so good that hopefully they delve into more and you get more of his backstory and you see more of him. And I mean, even without his backstory, like you said, his monologues are just so powerful, and like
he's a
he
devious
gets you,
character too, man. He's a
Yeah,
devious
yeah.
character. He
Hmm.
sends out I think about when we teach, and I always dive into my history references, but like when we break the Enigma code, when the British break the Enigma code and they still have to send
Yeah.
troops into massacres and stuff like that, and to win
God.
the war, like,
Hmm.
and he just doesn't even flinch. It's
Yeah.
nuts.
Yep.
So, what we got? A younger Princess Leia will make a cameo or at least be referenced. That'd be cool. I hadn't thought of that.
I
I'm so focused
Yeah.
on Jin. What do you think
I
about
could
this,
definitely
man?
see. I could definitely see a reference. I can't imagine. I can't imagine them actually bringing,
They
a
could bring
prince,
that
like
little.
showing. They say it when we read through here. It mentions like her daughter, who was a stand-in for her,
She's
maybe
not a great
utilizing
actor.
her and putting the CGI on her face or whatever. But I don't
I
think I don't want to see it. If they reference her, fine. Maybe, I don't know. Like we talked about, one of the cameos that might make sense would be to have Jimmy Smits come in and
Yeah.
reprise his role.
Got to
So
have a Jimmy in the show.
right.
Hey,
So I mean, and Leia does learn a lot from Mothma. So like as you read, it makes sense what they're saying, but I don't know. I don't see them putting a lot of cameos in at all. Even though this might make sense, I don't know. It's too tied to the Skywalker saga and everything involved with that, and this show's just different.
so this is the little girl that played Leia in Kenobi. She's like,
Okay.
kids grow up so dang fast. How
Yes,
is she
they
that
do.
old already?
Well,
I mean, I could see them being able to put some buns on her, and and
possibly, yeah.
her
I
just
mean, how
being
old?
there. Vivian Lyra Blair. I always want to be like Lyra Blair Vivian or something. I always say it wrong when they have three names, but
Yeah. So this
um,
is 4 years, between 4 and 1 year before New Hope, right? So
she'd have to be
how old
older
would
than
Leia
that.
be? She would be,
Well, they're like 19 when they find Luke, right? Like he's
yeah.
like 19-year-old, so she's
Hmm.
19. So she'd have to
So
be,
between 14 and 18. Yeah.
yeah, probably,
So
yeah, depending on what episode they showed her in.
yeah. So who knows? I mean, we'll see.
Oh yeah, that's a good point, Tahu. Just
Yeah.
mentioning. I think
The
we'll get a
princess.
bunch of
Mhm.
mentions. I don't think we'll get. I
Actual.
don't think. Yeah, I don't think we'll
Yeah.
get actual.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because and I'm to blame sometimes in my own headcanon because I mess up the timeline. 'Cause I'm like, when's
Yeah.
this happening? When's that happening? So yeah. I think she'll be referenced. I think that's what they say too, right? Just be
Hmm.
referenced. Yeah.
Well,
I
they do
don't
say
want
it's
Billy
possible.
Lord. I'm sorry. Like, I get it. She's Carrie Fisher's daughter, but she cannot act very well. Like,
Yeah. Well, that's
she
even, I think they even reference into that. I don't think they expect her to actually act, just stand there off to the side and be made up and maybe wear a CGI face. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I don't know.
This one's curious because we talked about this a little bit
Hmm.
um, on Sunday. Dropped that today. Will
Yeah.
there be a live action Rebels character? Because I said for my cameo, I just want the back of the Ghost and
Hmm.
Chopper. Because here's my reason: I love Ahsoka. I would love to see Kane. I don't know if Kanan will be gone by now, so he wouldn't be. Well, no, he was on.
No.
Is Kanan on the episodes when they
Yes.
rescue?
Yes.
So I just don't feel like. And tell me why I'm wrong. I want to know. So anyone who's listening out there, like, I don't want to be right about this because I want to see that. I want this to happen. I
Mhm.
just don't feel like you can plop down Hera from Ahsoka and it fit into this TV show for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, is that
No.
because like Ahsoka was a little more campy, it was a little more Star Warsy, and then this is like, dark and gritty, but like we've seen I think we've seen Twi'leks.
Mhm.
I just don't feel like it fits for some reason. It doesn't make any sense in my, like, I don't know why my brain's like, yeah, Hera, I don't want to see a CGI Zeb unless it's like perfect. Maybe Iman Esfandi as well, I can't think of his name. Ezra, sorry.
Ezra.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm tired. I can't think of his name. That's so weird, the ones you forget and you can remember. You can remember the actor and you can't remember the character, or you can remember the
Right.
character and the actor. You can never remember both.
Nope.
What do you think? Does that work?
No,
Does, like, what's her face show up? And
I
again,
think you're. No, I'd like to argue with you, but I think you're entirely right. They're both shows
argue with
have
me, Michael.
they have their own pluses, but they're very different. Like
I mean, Mary Elizabeth
they,
Winstead. She's
yeah.
outstanding.
I don't think you could take her in the makeup for Ahsoka and plop her into the world of Andor and it'd be right. But you could
Sabine.
take her and you could adjust the makeup and you could make it look a little more real and it would fit. But
Yeah.
you couldn't take one of these characters out. Like they're so vivid and vibrant. Like the color palette is just completely different. Like you'd have to tone it way down for them to even look right in this. Otherwise, they're like cartoon characters sticking out in what is a realistic show. It's like the cartoon characters in Roger Rabbit,
Yeah.
interacting with real human beings, even though we've seen them in live action as real human beings, but they still have that the the animation feel to them. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
that's it. All
yeah,
Star
it's
Wars
like,
fans says
yeah,
what's up. So
it's yes, the Ahsoka. It's like high fantasy, and this is more gritty and grounded. And
this is like a war
the
movie.
two can't cross. I like
Yeah.
what you said. Like you could easily take Chopper and ding him up and tone him down, and a beat up droid has a place in Andor. So
Yeah.
you could see him and he wouldn't stick out as long as the coloring is adjusted right. But like you said, just having the ghost flying off, just seeing the ghost fly away is a great cameo. It connects the dots without this, I don't know, this glaring, like it would just stand out so much.
Yeah.
Just wouldn't work. No matter which character you pick, it just wouldn't work.
Because I'm trying to think of like bright, shiny colors that we've seen in Andor, and there isn't any. Like everything
There
was
isn't.
dark and muted and like sad, and the Empire's winning, and
Yeah.
and I know that's the whole thing the Rebels were against, was like, I mean, that was like the whole point of the Rebels, was to be bright and shiny and like that light in the universe. It's weird to me though, because like I love both shows. I know that timeline wise, like this is going to happen some point.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see that connection live action.
Yeah.
I just don't know how you pull it off, because like you said, like I just don't think it works. Like I think you with the high fantasy and then a war movie just don't.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think out there? Anyone out there still paying attention? Does Hera from Ahsoka fit in Andor season 2, even though we know for a fact in canon that they rescue her and she's on the ghost for a little bit?
Yeah.
What do they say? I don't even care what they say. Here we go. This moment is far too important for Andor to ignore. Raises the possibilities that we'll see some live action characters from Rebels. Maybe like a Sabine and Chopper. They could do that. Even Sabine looks kind of like,
she's too vivid, too colorful. Like she's the artist. Like she doesn't wear typical Mandalorian armor. It's all spray painted and cool. Like I said, you really have to take yourself out and realize it's two separate genres. Like you are watching a movie and one genre doesn't fit with the other quite so well. Like they can reference one another, but the characters don't You can't go back and forth. Like you could, like I said, if you took and changed the color palette, if Hera wasn't so bright green, like if she was more of a olive drab green, then she fits. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
yeah, you'd
more like
have to.
Amy Taylor in Return of the Jedi dancer
Yeah, yeah,
as Ula.
yeah. You have to beat them up and tone them down, and then it works. But
Yeah, yeah. This one, I can
this
tell
isn't
you,
interesting.
I had this theory, and somebody that knows way more than I do said this is not the case.
Yeah,
Wouldn't tell us anything else, but no.
I couldn't see it either. I thought it was an interesting take, and they do reference in the article here about how in Solo, um, you took L337 and she became part of the Millennium Falcon. But I don't see it. Like, there's nothing about K2SO as we know him in Rogue One that would say that there's any part of B2 emo in him. I don't think, anyways.
No, and this is going to be the death that breaks me.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're not doing live episodes, breakdowns, because
Has B2 emo been in any of the trailers?
oh yeah,
I don't.
no.
I don't think he has. Maybe
I'm assuming
maybe he
he's on
just
that.
isn't.
Oh God, I know what's gonna. He's gonna be on that planet with. He's gonna be on that planet with. Everyone thinks is Dantooine with like Bix and the boy. I'm terrible at names. Brasso, and then the boy that threw the bomb, whose father was hung, and I think he's gonna be like cannon fodder. Oh man, I don't want to see a droid die.
No. Well, I don't know. Maybe he just isn't in it.
You
I
think
don't
they
know.
leave him out?
Sure. I mean, I'd like to see him, but
I prefer that to him getting
I
blown
don't
up.
want to see him die. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh damn. I just made myself sad on the inside.
Well, there's going to be a lot of sadness in this show. I think we know that. It's that's what makes it all the more powerful. But yeah, I don't know. Just let's not hurt B2, man.
Yeah. We're gonna move on because I want to. This is an interesting one. Will Cyril defect to the Rebel Alliance?
Hmm.
Because I think there's a chance that because they've only showed Dedra Meero twice, and it's been for like seconds, right? And they gave us that little force choke thing we think might be happening. Which the more I think about it, Vader and Tarkin and Palpatine, they don't suffer fools.
No.
You make a big boo boo.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
We watched Vader force choke how many admirals and commanders just in the original trilogy alone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and if there's no one there to stop them, they don't get let go. It's one chance, you're done. So
does that mean Cyril gets mad because his weird obsession with that lady, he defects? He's so angry at Cassian, though.
Yeah. Cyril's so simple-minded that the right person could lure him for sure. Like, if he gets infatuated with the right person, like he's a weirdo. Like, you know what I mean? Just a crazy weirdo. And it could easily, I don't think he's going to defect. I don't know. I think he's stuck with his current infatuation, and I don't know. He's just, I don't know.
I just don't think she lives through the entire thing.
Yeah, that's true. And then he needs someone else to hook on to.
He's going to be all sad and mopey.
Parasite. Yeah. So who knows? I mean, if he said maybe the right person lures him in and he's a useful asset and they use him, and I don't think anybody's going to be sad when they feed him to the, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I mean, that might
I
be the
mean,
one time people cheer
yeah.
when him and
I
his
mean,
mom get it.
yeah. I mean,
His
if
mom's the worst.
if they could turn him to the rebel side, I don't think Luthen has any qualm sending him in to die for any purpose. You know what I'm
They go
saying?
deliver this package to the Gorman
Mhm.
embassy at
Yeah.
exactly this time. And boom. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah. Tahu says, is anyone wondering if Cassian actually reunited with his sister?
Hmm.
We talked about this on the podcast this weekend, and Charlie blew my mind with a theory. Now, I think it's a little too on the nose, but some people think that Clea is Cassian's sister. So the lady
Yeah.
that's helping Andor, I think that's too. I think that's too on the nose. Like I think
Yeah.
that's too
For
much of
both
a
of them to
coincidence.
end up in that orbit. Yeah.
I I think that sounds crazy to me. Would I be okay with it? I think, but I don't know. I I loved it. I just feel like it's too like how what are the chances in a galaxy
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
quadrillions of people and species
Mhm.
and aliens that his sister gets off this planet that was left to die.
Mhm.
She just happens to get off and gets into this with the same guy
The
that,
same guy.
you know,
Yeah. It is.
or
It's
maybe
one of
that's why he
those.
wants him so badly is because he knows what
Yeah.
his sister's like and he knows I don't know.
It's one of those theories, like you said, it blows your mind when you hear it. You're like, oh, it makes so much sense. But then the more you think about it, like holes start to develop, and it just seems too convenient to for that to be the case. But I mean, wouldn't be the worst thing if it was. It'd just be,
No. So Tahu, I would love it. I think that Marva telling him just to stop looking, she knows something. She
yeah,
knows something. Like I think she
hmm
knows that like that planet got just
yeah, she's gone.
finished or whatever.
hmm
And they stole all that stuff, so there's repercussions most likely. And they were just kids all on their own. And
Yeah,
this show does not believe in happy endings, I don't think. So I
no,
would love it. I would, or maybe he finds a grave or something. I don't know. I don't know if they go back to oh my gosh, why can't I think of the man? I'm losing my mind. The home planet, but
you got a lot going on. It's all right.
better be better than this one. All right, so leading to speculate Cyril will change. Okay, so let's roll to Kyle Solar, Cyril Karn, the man who seemed to fancy himself as a Cassian Andor's nemesis. Oddly enough, there's a sense in which Cyril is the greatest threat to the Rebel Alliance. Not only does he know about Cassian, he's also come closer than most to discovering Luthen. But we've been promised twists and turns in Andor season 2, leading to many to speculate Cyril will change sides in the end.
Whatever happens with Cyril, I don't think it's going to be of his own making. Like
He's a
I
puppet,
don't
and he'll
think he
get.
knows anything that he thinks he knows. Like,
Yeah, no, he's a fool.
mhm.
He'd be good at like, you know, on Rebels, that AP is it AP4, AP5. I don't know if Crafting's still on here, but she would know. That's the one she likes to sing a song. AP5, I think. The droid that likes to keep order.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I can see Cyril becoming one of those, like just works for one of those and gets ordered around and bossed around for being a dummy. That's his fate in life. Be
Yeah.
ordered around by a robot, by a droid. Sorry. So, and then the last one, we're going to get a Palpatine cameo. Scary looking dude. So
Yeah.
finally, we've got to get a Palpatine cameo in season 2. Emperor has deliberately created this system, and he harvests its power, boosted by dominance of the dark side. As we saw in Star Wars, the Bad Batch, Palpatine tends to leave his enemies in the Senate to their own devices. They focus on political opposition, which he scorns because he knows how powerless they really are. I mean, I would assume that when Mon Mothma was giving that speech and she's like, the animal will come for you, that
Mhm.
she's like, but I also think that's just going to be like Sly Moore and Masamita.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I would agree. Like the only hope of seeing Palpatine would be maybe in the Senate in the distance, and I don't think they get close. But I don't think he'd be there either. Like this is another case of it's not fitting into this world. You know what I mean? Like, there's no Jedis in this world. There's no
because he
space
will.
wizards. There's no like all the Force stuff is outside of Andor. Like,
Yeah.
there's no Jedi leading this rebellion. It's all about the people, like the average Joe schmoes. You know, their plight and their, what they're doing for the rebellion, not about the bigger crazy space wizard and everything. So it's just
Yeah,
it's kind of like the Rebels cameos. It just they didn't wouldn't fit. It don't fit into this genre.
yeah. I mean, I'm thinking timeline because we know, like, in the beginning of Star Wars: A New Hope,
Mhm.
the Senate will never stand still for this. The Emperor has disbanded the Senate, and it'll be everyone will be governed by their regional governors or whatever. Plans will be,
Mhm.
controlled by the regional governors. I think Tarkin says that. That's in Star Wars: A New Hope, or is that in? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And I was thinking Rogue One for some reason when he's like popping off to um, Krennic, but so I mean, there's a possibility that like that's like he does that right after, or he does that because I mean he disbands them and then it happens pretty shortly. So like, how quickly after the Gorman massacre does she flee, go to
yeah.
Yavin, and they take off? Right?
Mhm.
Like, I need exact dates, people. My history brain, I need it to be a little bit more like, on this month of, you know, 2 ABY, this
Mhm.
happened. I need that.
I'm
Pablo
surprised
Hidalgo, if
there's.
you're out there and you want a historian to come help you write a more exact, I'm here for you, man. I'll summer intern with you. Fly me
I'm
out.
kind of surprised there isn't like a clickable timeline somewhere on the internet that's has the whole Star Wars thing. You can click and expand certain sections and
We
keep it
have
all in.
the we have the excuse me, man. We have the timelines book, and I've only gotten through like the High Republic stuff, so maybe I
Yeah,
need to dive into that. I don't know.
yeah.
More Star Warsiness, but so yeah, so that's their stuff. They think it seems to think it's going to happen. I think, right? Finally, says
Mm,
Andor would feel
yeah,
incomplete without him, so like they think it's happening.
yeah. See, I
So
disagree. I don't think it'd be incomplete without him. He's just the whole Emperor thing. There's going to be references, maybe that makes sense. But just like the Rebels crew, there might be references to them. Just like with Leia, there might be reference to her. But all those all those things exist in a different genre. They don't fit in with the Andor theme and the Andor style. So, just my opinion. Doesn't count for much.
yeah, I'd be curious. Anyone else? Anyone out there got a theory? Got an idea? No, been going for about an hour now, so I yeah, I don't know.
You got any crazy theories that bounce around in your brain?
Well, I think the cameo we're gonna get is like the back of the ghost, and they're gonna run her to the ghost. They're gonna
Yeah,
unmop the ghost, and I think that's really it.
that makes
Um,
sense.
and I'd like to see the I can't think of the character's name, but the commander that like Hera, he ends up sacrificing himself for the rebels. He drives his ship
Mm,
into, I think that's at the battle chopper base. He ends up sacrificing himself. He's the Asian character,
yeah,
uh,
I can't think of his
captain.
name.
I can't think of his name off the top of my head. He
Mm,
seems like he kind of runs that sector of the alliance or the rebellion
yeah,
out there. And Hera, I'd like to see like a live action version of him. That'd be cool. I don't have any real. I mean, because we kind of know what this is
yeah.
leading
We
up
know where it's
to,
all headed. Yeah.
what the twists and turns are going to be along the way. I mean, I don't know if
Mm,
that doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, it'll be exciting, but we know what the eventual
yeah.
outcome is.
Right. I have
Um,
this theory that Cassian and K2SO make it all the way through until Rogue One. It's a
you're going
crazy
out on a limb
theory, I
there,
know,
man.
but
You're going out on a limb, buddy. I don't know if you want to
yep.
expose yourself like that to
Well,
ridicule.
hey,
I think everyone dies. I think, I
they
mean,
get resurrected just in time for Rogue One, and
yeah, Luthen. No, I think like Luthen.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Nix,
He's gonna eat it.
Brasso, that whole
Yeah.
cruise, everyone's gonna get wiped out. Clea, I mean,
Yes.
I think the wheels are gonna come off. It's gonna be a big sting operation, and
Yeah.
someone in that group that we know is gonna betray the group, and like I think that's when like Luthen and Clea and those guys all get busted. Um, who knows what's gonna happen with Saw? Do we see like Emphas Nest and things like that? Like that'd be sick.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
So, um, we could see
Yeah. I
her
mean,
mother. We could see Emphas Nest. The Empress Nest we see, we could see her mother.
yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be difficult to, because Erin Kellyman's going to look much older than she did when she
Mhm.
was just like, a teenage girl with a helmet on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I think it has potential to be amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe four of the best Star Wars movies we've ever gotten. Let's hope so. Let's hope
Mhm.
we set a new bar and for greatness. That would be great, I think. But
Yeah.
yeah, my big prediction is we're gonna love it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I say prepare yourself. I mean, everybody that's in this that you don't see in Rogue One, prepare yourself for them to be gone.
Except for
And
B2 Emo, he's gonna go to the
just
old
gonna go.
droid home.
It's just gonna go quietly away. But yeah, I mean, it's all this death, all this. It's gonna hit us hard, but it's gonna make everything more powerful. It's gonna like they say, you're gonna want to watch Rogue One at the end of this, and it's gonna mean more. And I could definitely see that path to that. And I'm looking forward to it big time. And the other thing about this is they're trying out a new way of doing streaming. You know what I mean? Like a new release schedule, a new pattern, a new way to, give us this sort of a show. So, maybe it becomes really successful. And maybe this is what we get here on out is, something in this vein. Maybe not in this gritty realism that we get from Andor, but maybe we get something where it's, you know, three episodes released every week, and you get to look at the arcs as movies rather than wait week to week for how the arc goes. So I don't
Yeah,
know. It's an experiment in that way, but I definitely can't imagine not enjoying what we're gonna get.
Tyler says, "Are we wondering what other vintage goodies we'll see in Luthen's museum?" Yeah, we talked about were there lightsabers in there?
Yeah,
Talked about that a little bit on the show. Like, what kind of weapons does he have? It'll be interesting
yeah,
to see if there's something hidden in plain sight, or if they
mhm,
add new stuff that like references things that we know. It'll be curious.
yeah.
So I'm looking
And
forward to it. Like I'm rumor is that they're not going to be streaming any of this at Celebration, which I will only believe that when it doesn't happen.
right,
So Sunday night at 3:30 or whatever, and we haven't seen anything. I'm like, all right, well, I believe it then. So I don't know, but yeah.
yeah.
Any other?
Now I think we covered it.
All right. Well, go check out Screen Rant. They have tons and tons of articles um, for Andor. They do have Tahoe. They do have I think a top 10 of who's going to survive, like, or percentages for per character. So I can't imagine most percentages are very good,
Yeah, it can
given the
be.
fact that we don't see most of these people. But who knows? Who knows? So, all
So
right. Well,
this is our last episode until the 29th, I believe.
yes, sir. We'll
Yep.
come back
Next
after, and we'll come back.
next Tuesday, you'll be flying to Japan.
I
The
will
Tuesday
be.
after that, you'll be just getting back from Japan.
Well, I'll be in
So,
Japan
oh, you'll
still.
still be in Japan. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the international date line, it's who knows
Yeah.
what's going on. But
Yeah.
yeah, so there's no way we can do anything the next 2 weeks. Uh so we're gonna take the next 2 weeks off. We'll be back the second week of Andor, eight
We'll get
o'clock, just
information
before
out.
it airs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll definitely get on the socials. Like I said, we didn't get anything out in the socials today, but yeah, I got 2 weeks to work on it, so we'll have
Yeah.
something out by then.
So, all right. Well, everyone have a great 2 weeks. I hope
Yeah.
everyone loves Andor season 2, the first collection that we get.
Mhm.
And just check out our socials. We'll try to get on YouTube live. We'll try to do a bunch of stuff while we're at Celebration. As soon as we get out of panels, except for the very first panel, we had to go right from that panel to our panel. So there'll be a little bit of a delay on the information coming out of that. And then after that, though, we'll be coming out of panels and just going live and talking about our thoughts and feelings about what we've just learned. And again, if you've watched me tonight, you know I'm old and forgetful, so I'm sure I'll miss a bunch of things, but it'll be another good surprise for you. So you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome for my memory issues. But all right, well, everyone enjoy your 2 weeks. Like I said, you can watch a lot of that Celebration stuff live, and from StarWars.com, you'll be able to watch it with us. We'll do some things. And yeah, for all of us, we have spoken. We'll see you guys in 3 weeks.
See ya.
Whoops.